The New Orleans Pelicans went from being on top during the beginning of last season to nearly falling out of the playoff picture due to injuries. This team is a clear night and day difference when they are healthy versus not. How do you feel about them from an injury and health standpoint?
Yeah, they're definitely a night and day difference compared to when they're healthy to when they're not healthy. Obviously, every team is. But when they're healthy, they're a legitimate playoff threat. They're the number one seed in the NBA up until about the end to November last season. And then they dropped all the way down to barely making the play-in tournament and then getting eliminated from the playoffs in the play-in tournament due to not being healthy. They didn't have Zion, Brandon Ingram wasn't fully healthy. And the injuries, they just really built up for the team, and it was sad to see. Again, they missed the entire playoffs after making it the year before and putting up a pretty good fight in round one, and that made a lot of people really high on them. A lot of people were predicting them to go beyond round one last season, even make it potentially to the conference finals, and who knows, they stayed healthy, it might have happened. But again, the injuries, they caught up with them. Zion, he failed to play in over 30 games again. And throughout 4 years in the NBA now, he's only played over 30 games one time so far. And now they're dealing with an injury to Trey Murphy. He's dealing with a left knee meniscus injury. Hoping for the best. He's got a really bright future and maybe was looking at a breakout year. So hopefully he can come back sooner or later. But even beyond those two, you got Brandon Ingram. He only played 45 games last season. And for one of the few all-stars on their team and kind of a definitive star, some will argue against that, they need him to stay healthy. Both him and Ingram, they're key to this team, and without them, they can't hope to even make the playoffs, honestly. And it's just been a rough time for them, and I'm hoping they can finally put it together, have a healthy year. You've been seeing the social media posts from Zion looking ripped and healthy, not the Ruffles commercials where he's about 300 pounds and looking photoshopped. But yeah, I'm really hoping for them to stay healthy, and I think there's a good chance that they will. They're all kind of maturing their young core, and I think they're taking it a lot more seriously.
Hey, it's called a bulk and a cut. You should look it up. Come on, guys. But yeah, like in all seriousness, yeah, he's looking crazy. He's looking good. I think that, just to reiterate what you said, obviously it's going to be the biggest factor for them. He's played 4 years in the league. The quotes around played. He's only got 114 games under his belt, which is absolutely insane. It's just going to be the biggest thing for them. I think, I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of look at this team and not see them pushing it deep into this next season. It's all about the injuries. And you touched base on Trey Murphy a little bit. Of course, the heartbreaking news, suffering that slight meniscus tear. And, best case scenario, I think that he'd be coming back around the beginning of the season, which I think would be really great for Pelicans fans and obviously for the team. You talked about his break, like hoping for a big breakout. Last year, he kind of did do that, actually. He got an opportunity to have more minutes, and he kind of ran with it, up in his points and everything, and just kind of being overall much better player and a much better fit for the team. And I think that, yeah, Trey Murphy, Ingram, Zion are going to be the three biggest. If they can stay healthy, I can't really see who they're not going to be able to compete with at the very least. And yeah. Before we continue, I just wanted to take a few seconds to talk about and invite you to join our NBA Discord server. Our JSM NBA server is full of hundreds of people who love everything NBA. Do you like instant news updates around the league, NBA memes, talking stats, or even live chatting with others during games? The JSM NBA server has got you covered, plus so many more things to do and see. Come check out the JSM NBA server for free. We'd love to see you in there. The link will be in the description below. Now let's get back to the video.
Yeah, they showed it already. Being a number one seed only for about a month and a half might not seem like much, but in a tough Western Conference, when they're competing with Denver, Memphis, Phoenix at that time, that was tough. And they looked legit for, only a month again, but it was something to build off of. And unfortunately, they weren't, only due to injury. All the guys got hurt, and we didn't even mention Jose Alvarado. He got hurt as well. It really built up for them. But, given that they can enter the year healthy, I think they'd be a pretty good shot to replicate at least part of that success. Not saying they'll be the number one seed again. Who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But given that they stay healthy, I think they're a pretty good bet to find themselves in that top 7, maybe even 6 range and avoid the play-in tournament. And for a team that struggles again to stay healthy, that'd be incredible for them. Not having to go through a play-in tournament, being a lock to make the actual playoffs, and give their young core more playoff experience would be incredible for them. I mean, Zion's only 23, Ingram's only 26, and a majority of their core is young, other than McCollum, Lance Jr., and Valanciunas. And again, health will be everything for them, but if they can do that, they can definitely make a real push.
It's funny how easily smaller market teams fall out of that limelight. You know, like we can follow some of the bigger teams when they're doing really poorly. We'll follow them, they'll be in the headlines, we'll see them. But it's like you said, the Pelicans, they were in the number 1 spot, and they almost, I mean, everyone knows that Zion was hurt, but you know, the rest of the team was almost discounted for their skill, their ability, and it's just kind of sad to see how, you know, and you know, the casual fans might not know that, but the people that are watching, they expect the Pelicans to make a really great return. It's sad that it's all at the heels of injuries, and I just hope that they're obviously taking the right precautions and the right measures to prevent that, and just so that Pelicans team can push forward.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you brought up about how if they're not playing well, everyone kind of overlooks them, and that's really true for the Pelicans in particular. They have one of, honestly, the best young cores in the entire league. And if Zion's not healthy, unfortunately, the other guys, they really don't get the respect that they really deserve. Like you mentioned, Trey Murphy, he was quietly having a little bit of a breakout year that I do think will translate to this season if he can come back and get his legs under him and, you know, really play a majority of the year to be able to do that. But other than him, they got a ton of talent on their team, and they definitely do deserve more limelight. It's not only Zion, they got a really talented young core, and given that they stay healthy and Zion stays healthy, I think it'll finally show this season.